Isaac Newton invented modern physics. He also stuck needles in his eyes, predicted the end of the world, and got at least 28 people executed. He was quite a serious chap, and as a teenager, Newton kept a handwritten list of his sins, 57 in total. Highlights of these include threatening to burn down his mother and stepfather's house, making pies on Sunday, and having impure thoughts in church. Not much spectacular happened until 1665, when a great plague caused Cambridge to be shut down and Newton was sent home. Over the next 18 months, working alone in his childhood home, Newton went on an intellectual rampage. He invented calculus, he discovered the laws of motion, he described gravity, and he proved that white light contains every colour. But in this incredible period of discovery, Newton didn't limit himself to experiments on inanimate objects. He was more than happy to experiment on himself. Some highlights include sticking a needle behind his eyeball to see what would happen. For those interested, coloured circles appeared. He was also intrigued to see what would happen if he stared at the sun for as long as he could. He went temporarily blind. It was when Newton returned to Cambridge as a professor that he became famous. And he became very unpleasant. He was secretive, paranoid, and quite sensitive to criticism. He had invented calculus, but for bizarre reasons never decided to publish it. So when a German mathematician called Gottfried Leibniz claimed that he'd invented calculus, Newton did what any sensible genius would do. He founded a committee to investigate the claim, appointed himself head of the committee, and wrote the report. In a shocking twist, the findings of the committee turned out to be that Newton had invented calculus first. He also spent years after attempting to sabotage Leibniz's reputation, which feels excessive. After this, Newton became far less interested in physics and became far more interested in biblical prophecy and alchemy. He spent years trying to turn lead into gold, which, spoiler alert, didn't work, so don't bother trying. But his real passion was finding hidden messages in the Bible. So imagine his delight when he crunched the numbers and found out that the world was going to end in 2060. Mark your calendars. He wrote over 1 million words on theology and biblical prophecy, which is way more than he ever wrote about maths or physics. Maybe he misplaced his priorities. Newton never married, never had a partner, claimed that women were a distraction. But it was in 1696 that Newton suddenly decided that he'd like to get involved in other people's deaths. He took a job as the head of the Royal Mint and was in charge of catching those who counterfeited coins. At the time, this crime was punishable by death. The thing is, to say that Newton was good at his job would be an understatement. He took it very seriously. He personally hunted suspects across London. He interviewed witnesses, interrogated criminals, built the tightest cases he could. And given this, we can assume he took great satisfaction in the 28 executions that he directly helped bring about. Some historians think that this period was when Newton was at his happiest. Newton died in 1727, rich, famous, knighted, and still absolutely foul. He was a genius, a pioneer, and by most accounts a deeply unpleasant man. If you want to hear more stories about the biggest discoveries in science and those who discovered them, this might be the channel for you. So please like the video and subscribe for more.